Well, no, I don't accept that. You have paraphrased the report, and I don't. Well, there's no finding. No. Well, I'm sorry. You've just put something to me that I don't think is in the report at all, Rachel. There are no findings. No, hang on a minute. There was a good deal of editorial beyond the quote that you did a quote, and then you put something else to me. And I don't think the two things lined up necessarily. There are no findings against anybody in this report. No findings against anybody. And I think that's not an unimportant point to make. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that. Well, the mere fact that no. Well, again, I'm not accepting the premise that you're putting to me, Rachel. The fact that two things are mentioned in a report means that they're both linked and the same thing. Well, again, I'm not accepting the characterisation that you're putting forward about me or the government. Well, no, you are. Well, again, I think I've. Well, then, well, there's commentary in the report. There are no findings in the report against anyone.
Do you want to comment on the commentary?
No, it's not appropriate for me to be paraphrasing or commenting on commentary. Like, there's a narrative in this report. There are no findings against anybody. The Corruption Commission has not found any corrupt conduct.
But the IBAC continually talk about grey corruption, so it's worth talking about, isn't it?
Yes, and where, again, the issues that IBAC raise in very broad, sweeping, often undefined terms are picked up in a series of recommendations that have been made. And we will look at those recommendations. Like, we can only do what IBAC has asked us to do, and that is to look at the 17 recommendations. They've not asked that action be taken against anyone. They've not found that action should be taken against anyone. They've not found that anyone acted corruptly. They are, after all, the Anti-Corruption Commission, so they'd be pretty uniquely placed to make such a finding if that was appropriate. The only thing that can be done here, so if your question to me is what are we going to do about this, well, I'll tell you, we're going to go through a proper cabinet process and look at every one of the 17 recommendations, and there'll be a back and forth with IBAC, I'm sure, and we'll look at that properly with a due process, and then we'll make further announcements and we'll report our progress to you when that work is done. Nothing more, nothing less, and I think that's the appropriate thing to do. Well, IBAC describes it that way. Just to be... No, hang on. I'll absolutely let you finish your question and then I'll answer it. But it is just important, though. It's not me calling it that. That's what IBAC call it. It's produced pursuant to and in fulfilment of their educational role under their Act of Parliament. That's their phrasing. That's what they say about their work.